So this guy, he's the subject of a new Netflix documentary. Let's play the trailer first.
Is that Kato Kalin?
Yeah.
Look at him.
He's an interesting fellow. So we're gonna play the trailer first, and then I'm gonna read about his lawsuit against Netflix in light of the documentary, and then I'm gonna pass it over to you guys, where we will discuss what do you think about this?
Before we play the video, has anybody here ever donated sperm?
No.
Do we pay money for it? I'm a pure blood right here.
Yeah, me too. That's well, what's worth more, I guess. Your pure blood or your sperm?
I don't know.
I mean, months ago, I wrote a thing about how unvaxxed sperm was going for a premium at sperm banks around Europe and the U.S.
Yeah, I literally have a joke about driving, and I saw a guy that on the back windshield of the minivan, he painted for sale unvaxxed sperm, $3,000. I'll come to you. I swear to God, this exists. People think that I made this up. I tell this
I'll
joke.
come to you.
That's beautiful.
I tell this joke at the
Did he
Daniel
spell
Beach-
it the dirty way?
Well, yeah, no, he spelled it the right way.
Okay.
It was like a minivan, so the guy was not doing well off. Like you can tell, he painted it on there.
Nice.
But the funny part is, I told that joke, and then a guy stood up in the audience, and he had a shirt that said "Unvaxxed sperm, $3,000 alone." I'm like, what the fuck? This is a thing?
There he is.
All right, so let's play the video. This is the guy, the Netflix documentary, Kato Kalin, sperm donor. Hit.
All right, so this guy, his name is
I lost 1776 fuckers. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
this guy's name is Jonathan Meijer. He's a Dutch dude. He's planning to sue Netflix for slander on grounds that they spread misinformation about his life. He says that he only fathered roughly 550 children across the world, not 1,000 as the documentary alleges. He also says that the film lied, that he tried to mix his sperm with a friend's to see whose sperm would win out in the competition. He said that's a complete lie. That never happened.
Could you imagine that conversation? Hey, I got an idea. No, believe me, it's not because I want to do it. It's for scientific research.
Oh, of course. And then this was the funny part. He was like,
Oh, this was the funny part.
yes, this is the real part. He goes, he says he said somewhere where he's like, he's like watching the trailer on YouTube, and he goes, "This is dangerous." He's only thinking about himself. He's like, thinking about myself. I was doing a service to others, okay? I was trying to help people out. I was doing a selfless thing, which was, I don't know, interesting take on it. But so the weird thing about all this is that they're so mad at him. Why are they mad at him? The one legitimate reason they say that they have is because this could cause incest potentially. There's 100 children born in the Netherlands, so kind of close region, and they might not know that someone is their sibling, and they would, accidentally commit incest. But the 1,000 children he allegedly had were all over the world, so I don't see how the incest thing works out. There's 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
But mostly what you see is all these women who thought that they were lied to because they thought they had this kind of like one-on-one connection with this dude, and these are like lesbian ladies, and they're like, we thought we were special, but instead he was giving his sperm to everyone else. And it's like they almost think that he was like cheating on them, so it gets very psychological. And also what's funny is that in the show they show how like they had so many options for the sperm, and they went through everything. And they all decided on this guy. They all cited his blonde hair and how he said that he was a investment banker and was making a good amount of money and that he was intelligent. So they all selected for intelligence, blonde hair, and all these like stereotypically eugenic traits.
Somebody else we know.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna get a bunch of douchebags wearing Hawaiian shirts and ponytails.
Hey, easy on him.
So like all these lesbian ladies are pissed off, saying that he's the douchebag or whatever. Meanwhile, they are the ones asking for his sperm and committing eugenics through doing this. So first of all, what do you guys think? Is he in the wrong?
Hell no.
Should he face punishment? And also, would you guys do this if you could?
Let's go to Vinny first. Vinny?
Yeah, no, dude. First of all, and I mean, I'm happy that you said it's a bunch of lesbian women that are now trying to have kids, and now you're mad at the product that you have. Not at all. Because listen, this is how the world works. I'm sorry to wake all these people up. You find a man that you like, that you have a relationship with, that you want to raise a family and have children with, and then you move on from there. Doing this whole, I'm going to pick and choose, and I'm a lesbian. This guy's not going to, that's good for you. You get what you want and you get what you ask for. And this is the type of shit that happens when you're going against the grain and you're going against what God once. You're supposed to meet the person, fall in love with them, figure out if it's going to work out, have a baby. If God, blesses you with the fact that you guys can both do it, then you do it. This is rolling the dice and then guess what? This is exactly what happens. You got freaking a Hulk Hogan looking dude with freaking Hawaiian shirts with the shell necklaces. Now do it. And they're like, we're never going to find out how many he did. Just wait a couple of years, wait 20 years. And when you see douchebags walking around with Hawaiian shirts, you're like, he actually banged more than 550. But I think it's hilarious. I don't fault him for it. If he was getting paid for it, good for him. I mean, I do hope that they're not all, the majority of them are in the Netherlands, because that would suck. But if they're worldwide, good for him, bro. Look at the birth rate. The birth rate in America is what? The lowest it's ever been, 1.5, 1.6. Yeah. Bring his ass to the United States. Have him hook up with like Rosie O'Donnell and all these freaking losers that have barely have any kids. Let's put that son of a bitch to work.
Like
Bring
a horse, That's what they do. That's what they do with horses. When you have a male horse that wins a race, they're like, all right, we got to get that sperm and we got to impregnate other horses.
It's so rare to see a white European guy who actually wants to reproduce now. That doesn't happen very often anymore.
So that was the other thing I was going to bring up. Then there's this guy, a Zimbabwean man named Mishek Nyandoro, who has fathered over 150 children with his 16 wives, and he intends to sire 1,000.
Wow.
He said he's doing this to repopulate his country after the Rhodesian Bushman War,
I
which
should
happened.
do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to help replenish America.
Yeah.
Caitlin, I'm sorry. I got to sleep with sluts.
This war happened over 40 years ago, so it doesn't even hold up. But no one has called for him to be punished, and no one's saying that's going to commit incest. This is really a thing about the first world and how ladies in the first world want to just be treated like, royalty and Prince Charming. Meanwhile, in the third world, they've got 16 wives, and they're more than willing to do
He's doing it directly. He's not even donating sperm. He's just marrying 16 women.
Vinny.
Guys, I got an idea, Rob. Valuetainment's going to sponsor this. I'm going to go to every single state in the United States of America, and I'm going to donate and impregnate one woman. So in every single state, if anybody ever asks, dude, where are you going? I'm like, I'm gonna go see my kid.
This is the angry patriot campaign. He's gonna create 1,000 angry patriots.
With Benny Oshana.
Yep.
Valuetainment exclusive.
This is gonna be weird. I actually kind of I don't know the relationship that the guy has with the 16 wives and the 150 children, but I would assume if it's all in the same village, he has some type of relationship. I actually kind of respect that more than the guy that's got 1,000 kids out there that he has no connection to. None of you guys understand, because none of you are fathers, and I don't mean that in a bad way. When you become fathers, and I hope all of you do, it's the greatest gift that you'll ever have. That relationship that you have with those children can't be replicated anywhere else. My 14-year-old is the biggest pain in my ass every single day. There's days where he drives me insane. I love him more than anything. And I can't imagine having him be out in this world and not have a relationship with him. So I can't imagine being a guy that has 1,000 offspring of you and you don't have any connection with them. That would eat me alive at night. If I had one kid out there that I didn't have a relationship with, it would bother me to my core. Imagine that times 1,000.
Well, Rob, this is kind of an important point, actually, because we now get into with this the fact that sperm banks, IVF, most of this is done very unethically. And it's presented as like, oh, this is just sperm donors. You're giving the opportunity to somebody to have a kid. Well, like you said, if there's 1,000 children that were made with your material walking around out there and you have no connection to them, a normal person would feel like that weighs on them a little bit. Or with the way the IVF industry is done, okay, we're going to fertilize like 30 eggs at a time
And throw them
and
out.
implant 2 or 3 maybe. The rest of them are either thrown out as medical waste, fully fertilized, functioning potential human beings, or they're condemned to an eternity in a freezer. Because that's the only way to do it. You have to have one of those. You can't implant 30 fertilized eggs at a time.
Or maybe you can. I don't know.
And then you just abort the rest of them is essentially what they do. If too many take hold, they have to kill some of them in order for the rest to survive. So when you start to commoditize human life as a thing you can just buy, like, okay, to Shane's point, it's basically eugenics. If you flip through a binder, it's like, well, this donor's got blonde hair and blue eyes, but this one went to MIT, so he's smarter. Do you have any of these in a browner shade? I'd like my kid to be a little bit more brown.
And more hireable.
Exactly.
Anyhow.
It's unethical the way it is done.
Connor, I go a step further. these guys I'm not only not mad at them, they're absolute heroes. We need more people like this. And this is another thing on you. I know I don't have any children, but he has beautiful hair. I judge people on how beautiful their hair is. Like my favorite band, metal band from the 80s, is Megadeth, because he has the best hair in the business.
He looks like
and
Dave
this
Mustaine.
guy has beautiful hair. It's an overachiever. We need more
What a
people.
great story, too, if Dave Mustaine gets fired from Metallica, goes and creates a separate band, and then that band rises to the heights of almost Metallica.
It's the hair. It's the hair. Everything is the hair.
And then he goes on InfoWars and is a conspiracy theorist.
So I'm growing my hair out, and it looks very similar to his hair. So I support it. Make more babies. African tribesmen, make 10 more. And I like he has a political mission behind making babies. Like they killed too many of us. I'm gonna get the population back. People with that kind of drive, because we have all these lazy incels that are just playing video games and masturbating in the bedroom.
Yeah, you hear that, Deli?
Yeah. And this guy comes along with a mission. I'm going to make as many babies as possible. And this other guy's repopulating Rwanda. So good for them. You guys are heroes. And you're giving me ideas.
Brandon, final word.
Yeah, no. So I mean, first and foremost, I would definitely do this. This is definitely this is something I've been forgetting to sign up for, because I think I'm right there with you. I think it's it's your biological imperative to make sure that you live on, and I totally agree with you in the sense of like wanting to feel connected to your kids, and I could see that, but I could also see people feeling that they aren't truly living anymore if they don't produce a child and have like a child live after them. So the more children you do that with, the more you're gonna have your life live on, increase your odds of like having an impact on the world. So I think it is ethical, because you say the argument is going against God's will, but I think God enables us to do these things, and so I don't think it's going against God's will because of that. And
See, I'm for it. Like, wait,
what?
Kelly. I've never
Kelly
heard
wants to jump
Kelly
in for
She's over there murmuring to herself, like, what the hell is... I have no problem with in vitro fertilization. I don't, because there are couples out there that can't conceive and they want to have a child. I'm for that. The actual sperm donation, that's where it gets tricky to me, because when you hear stories like this, it's like it really removes the human aspect of this. Whereas in vitro fertilization, it's two people who love each other. In most cases, it's two people who love each other. They're having a trouble conceiving.
Their marriage.
It's a man that can't produce, or a woman whose egg won't fertilize, and the miracle of science helps them have a child. I'm okay with that. When it gets to this and it's for profit, that's where it's weird. And then when you get into the gene editing, and I want a kid with blonde hair, blue eyes, like Vinny said, looks like what do you call him, a douchebag California surfer? Yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter light. Like, that's not what you should be doing with this. It's so much more than that. That's a business. This is life, and it's very precious. And to try and turn it into a business, it's scummy. And wait, so to go back for a second, you're going to donate sperm?
I mean, I would like to explore the possibility of doing that.
So what happens when you run for president in 2036 and the headline is "Sperm Donor Brandon Aceto"? Hundreds of kids across the United States
that's more
can't govern them, but wants to govern you.
I would hope
Here's what
that was
I'll
a
do.
voting
I'll
base.
booklet of all the horrific things that each president's done, which is all far worse than that. And I'll be like, yeah, Obama, Clinton, Bush Senior,
That's amazing. I want to watch
I
that.
know some people are trying to import voters. He's gonna make them. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
it is.
As it should be.
Exactly. Well said.
You're going to make your own voting base.
Make America white again. Brandon Aceto is going to do it himself.
And then, by the way, the guy in Africa, one of his oldest son already has 4 wives, so it's a family tradition.
Wow.
So you can make it a
Nice.
tradition. All your
Nice.
offspring can be doing this.
Moral of the story, if you want to avoid horrible situations like what's going on in this documentary, just go get your sperm the old-fashioned way. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Or it is. But
It's not that hard.
That's how I get mine, the old fashioned.